Hello, property nomads. Hope you're well. Are you fed up with getting screwed over by your bank left, right, and centre when you're abroad and you are getting fee after fee after fee just for withdrawing your own cash or spending your own cash? It's an absolute pain in the backside. Thankfully, this episode, and yes, we're switching over very quickly to a travel episode today, this will help you moving forwards. What's the reason for this episode? Well, by the time this episode goes out, I will be in Mexico. I'm over there to get married, staying over there for a couple of months to sort out a big bunch of residential paperwork as well. And as I'm over there for a long period of time, like yourself, I am fed up of our banks screwing us over left, right, and centre. And I like the best deal that I can possibly get, especially when it comes to being able to live my life as normally as I can in a different country. And that comes through, if I put something on my credit card, am I getting a fee from a foreign bank? Am I getting a fee from my own bank? Am I getting the transaction fee? All of this sort of stuff adds up. Same with debit cards as well. But thankfully, what we'll do in this episode is go through a couple of really good bank cards for you to get if you are looking at certainly going on holiday or going away for an extended period of time. So there are obviously loads and loads of credit cards and debit cards out there. All of them are going to have their pros and cons. But what I can say is that you want to be avoiding things like TSB, Bank of Scotland, Lloyds, Halifax, so bog standard debit cards. Do not go and use them abroad. They are going to be charging you a lot just to use your cash. Also, what I should say is this episode is designed at those who don't want to withdraw a big amount of currency in their home country. So, for example, I'm in Mexico. I've got a few months of spending that, I've got to sort out. I just want to be able to put most things on my card and I'll sort it out later. I didn't want the hassle of having to withdraw £2,000 or £3,000 or £4,000 in UK. Why? Number one, the exchange rate could always change. Number two, you get screwed on the exchange rate anyway if you're getting your currency in this country. So this will really help you moving forwards. But with spending charges on debit cards, yes, you want to be avoiding TSB, Bank of Scotland, Lloyds Bank, and Halifax. Why? Because you'll get an exchange markup. You'll also get an ATM charge, and you'll probably also get a spending charge. So this means that if you spend £100 in US dollars, that might end up costing you £105 once you've added all the fees on. And if you're doing that every single time, that's not good for you, especially as you're working hard to have that cash in the first place. In terms of debit cards, and I can certainly say this from experience, my preferred one is First Direct. So First Direct are, I like to say they're a subsidiary of HSBC, but they're related to HSBC. And what they've done recently, I think at the end of June 2023, is they got rid of all of their overseas fees. So a couple of months ago, they weren't the best card to use. Now they definitely are. So they've got rid of all their overseas fees. So there are no more non-sterling transaction fees. There are no more non-sterling cash fees. There are no more ATM withdrawal fees. The only time you might get charged is if the ATM or the bank you're using abroad could possibly charge you, but normally that will come up on the screen before you look to withdraw your currency. So with First Direct, it's a MasterCard. There's a perk at the time of recording this. There's a perk that if you go and switch to First Direct's debit card, you might be entitled to £175 switching fee. I have done this recently. It worked a treat. Happy days. You might want to consider that moving forwards. If you do go and apply for that, though, please be aware that does involve a full credit search. And I'm not a financial advisor, but please do go and do your own research before you decide to do such a thing. You can withdraw up to £500 a day abroad, which is really good. It's a debit card, it's a MasterCard, which is great. Happy days. two other ones that are really good. Well, the other one that's highly recommended is Chase. Chase have a debit card that's a MasterCard, and apparently that offers 1% cash back on most UK and overseas spending. You're allowed to withdraw apparently up to £1,500 a month. It's a debit card, it's a MasterCard. And again, I'm told that the credit check for that is quite easy. It's just an ID check. So maybe Chase might be the one for you. In terms of other debit cards that are recommended, again, do your own research into this. Starling's MasterCard debit card. All overseas spending and ATM withdrawals are fee-free and interest-free. Apparently, you can withdraw up to £300 a day, and apparently the credit check is quite easy. It's just an ID thing, so do go and check that out. When it comes to credit cards, there are two main credit cards that are worth using abroad. Number one is a Barclaycard Rewards credit card, so that's Visa. You get ongoing 0.25% cash back. Apparently, if you want to do cash withdrawals on your credit card, I never recommend that, but the option is there if necessary. You can do up to £500 a day, which is useful. Interest-free spending, well, yes, as long as you're paying full each month, as you should do with your credit cards, then it's 0%. But the APR at the time of recording is 27.9%. And apparently, yes, you can withdraw interest-free from ATMs, again, as long as you're paying that back in full on your next statement. Otherwise, it's 27.9%. And my favorite one, because I've got one, I've used it many times before, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's a Halifax Clarity MasterCard. The main difference with the Barclaycard and Halifax card is that you're charged on ATM withdrawals. I have never ever used a credit card to withdraw cash. I've never done it. I never will do it. That's a big difference. So if you're looking to take a credit card out and then you might withdraw some cash on that, you're going to get charged anywhere between, I think it's 20% and 30% for that privilege. If you're not doing that, then pretty much exactly the same as the Barclaycard. You can do whatever you need to do on it. There's no fees when you're abroad. You'll get charged pretty much at the exchange rate at the time, always pay in the local currency. Interest-free spending, yes, but as long as you're paying that back in full on your next statement, please do that. It's much better for your finances. And I've had my Halifax card for 4 or 5 years now. I've used it multiple times, not just in Mexico, but in Italy, in Spain, France, wherever I've been. I've taken that with me, and it's worked an absolute treat. It really is a straightforward card to use. So that's a Halifax Clarity credit card. Why do I like using these cards? Well, purely because it means that I'm not getting screwed over by banks when I'm abroad. I can go to different places with a bit of peace of mind. No, I've not got round to getting a Mexican bank account yet. Chances are I will at some point. But if you're taking yourself and your spouse away, or your family of 4 away, or whatever it might be, if you're getting your currency out in the UK, or you're getting your taking your bog standard debit card abroad, and you're getting fee upon fee upon fee upon fee upon fee, you are getting screwed by your own bank. Don't get screwed by your own bank. Be smarter, and you'll end up saving quite a bit of currency in the long run. So just to recap, the best debit cards to use abroad, the First Direct debit card, which is a MasterCard. I've got one. It works a treat. The Chase MasterCard debit card also is apparently very, very good to use abroad. I don't have one, so I don't know, but it comes out very high in a lot of surveys. The Starling MasterCard debit card, same as Chase, very highly rated. I don't have one, so I cannot speak with volition. And then on the credit card side, Barclaycard Rewards credit card, which is a Visa. Again, I don't have one, can't vouch for it, but it does score highly in the credit cards to use abroad. And then the one that I do have, Halifax Clarity MasterCard, I've had mine for years. It works an absolute dream abroad, and it's saved me a lot of effort, hassle, and cash and fees over the years. So greetings from Mexico. Listen out for a great set of podcast content coming up. We might have a bit of extra blend of travel coming in as I'm in Mexico until November, but a lot going on in the world. On a different note, I do think Q4 is going to be quite dangerous. I really, really do. People are coming back from the summer vacations. We've had the BRICS summit recently, Jackson Hole over in the US as well. Normally a lot of gnarly recessions and a lot of big stuff happens September, October normally. So do keep your eyes out. We'll try our best to keep up to date as best as possible, both on the podcast, on the YouTube channel as well. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel or the podcast, please do so. Please also share the podcast with as many people as you can. And on top of that, please do leave us a review as well. It helps to boost the podcast, but also helps to get our message across to even more people. And that is thanks to you. So, hola from Mexico. Good luck. And remember, be smart when you're abroad. Don't get screwed by your banks. See you in the next video.